Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another interesting tutorial, and this is exactly what we're going to be making in this class. So stay tuned and get the best part of it. So I'm going to be drafting on my pattern paper before transferring to fabric. So having gotten your measurement, I'm going to be marking from shoulder to the full length of the blouse. I'll be marking this into two places so that I can get accurate measurements. After which I'm going to be marking my waistline. In this case, I'm using 17 for my waistline. And from the shoulder point, which is the edge of the fabric, I'll mark my under bust 14 and a half, and then I'll mark the bust line at 10.5. Please use your own measurement so that you can get accurate fits when you wear your dress. Okay, you can go over this again if you did not get the measurements that you need accurately. Right, so I'm going to be highlighting them with my marker so that you can see it properly. Shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist, and shoulder to full length of the blouse. So we go over to the upper part. The neck depth here is 3 inches, right? So we're using a basic neckline of 3 inches by 3 inches. 3 by 3, and the shoulder point I'm using 7.5, which is 15 divided by 2. For the front part, I'll come down by 1.05 to slant the shoulder. So I'll be slanting from the neck point to the shoulder slant 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, right? Then I'm going to use my curve and connect the neckline. So from the bust line, I'll go up by 1.5 to get my armhole depth. 1.5 from the bust line to get my armhole depth. Okay, so on that armhole depth, I'm going to mark in my shoulder divided by 2 to get the straight line for the armhole line, right? This is it. So I'm going to be marking my bust span, which is nipple to nipple measurement divide by 2. I'm marking 3.05. Okay, I'll mark it from down to the bust line, the bust span. Now at this armhole line, I'm going to mark my bust divide by 4. Whatever bust you're using, divide by 4, and I will go up by 3 inches, and on that point I will go in by 0.75 to deepen the armhole line. I hope this is taken. Just watch the way I'm doing it and you're going to get accurate measurement for yours. Now the bust here is 39 inches, right? 39 divided by 4, and that is what I just marked. Then I'm going to go down by 1 inch from the bust line. This 1 inch is the difference between the front and the back length, 1 inch, and that will serve as my bust dart. Now, very important, on this part I'll mark 1.5 inches, and on that part I'll mark 0.75. Okay, 1.5, 0.75 to tighten the under bust. So altogether I'm having like 2.025, okay, inches, and I'll curve it using my curve the way you just saw. Then I'll connect from that under bust to the hip line or the full length. You can see the way I slanted my hand. I don't want to take it all straight. Of course, this is going to be a flare from the waistline, so it's not that necessary. Then I'm going to connect from the bust point to the midpoint of the shoulder, right? To the midpoint of the shoulder in order to tighten the shoulder area. This is not an armhole princess dart, but a shoulder dart. So I'll be taking my full measurement, bust divide by 4, I'll mark, under bust divide by 4, and we're using 30. Then whatever it is at the dart, I'm going to add it back, right? And I'll mark and connect it to the bust line or bust measurement. Then at the waistline, I'm going to do the same, waist of 30, add whatever it is in the darts, add it back to the measurement and connect to the line. Now the under bust and the waist are not having the same shape, but then don't worry, it's going to be fine, so we don't have shortage. At the hip line, I'm still going to do the same thing and add back the darts. Right, divide by 4, add back the darts, and then connect to the waist line. And that is how it is. Very easy and simple. Okay, so we're making progress. At the shoulder point, I'm going to be marking 0.75 and 0.25. 0.75 and 0.25 the way you just saw it, and I'll connect it to the bust point. I'll connect this other part to the bust point. You can see now at the shoulder tip, I'll be adding back 0.75 instead of the adding all of them together. Okay, I'll add back 0.75, and at this part also I'm going to measure what I have there and add it back. That's about 3 lines, and add it back, and then I'll connect to get my new armhole line. Okay, I'll connect to get my new armhole line, and this is going to form the new armhole that we're going to be working with. Now we're no longer going to cut from the first line, we are cutting from the second line. So that part is taken care of, and with this we come to the end of our front part. Now what makes the difference between the 6 pieces and 8 pieces is that the center front is going to have a flay, and also adding zipper to the front, so the center front is going to have a flay. That is the difference. I hope this is clear. Okay, then we'll move over to the back. My back neckline depth is 1 inch. The full length is minus 1 inch from the length of the front. We used 25 for the front, we're using 24 for the back because of the bust dart. And then we mark the waistline, which is 16 inches. Okay, just take your measurements and you'll get it right. Shoulder, the same thing. Waist, shoulder drop down 1 inch instead of 1.5. Neck width, the same thing that we marked. After joining, we're going to trim off the excess. Okay, if at all there is an excess, because we minus from the front and we added back, so it will not have any excess. And then we'll take our armhole depth, which is connected to the front. Right, now we're going to tighten the waistline to avoid any form of bulge by 0.75 on that waistline, and we'll connect it towards the neckline like so, and we're also going to connect it to the hip line like so in a slanted form. Okay, so from there we're going to be taking our waist measurements, divide by 4, and we're adding 1 inch for that. We're also going to take our bust, divide by 4, plus there's no need for the 1 inch. Okay, there's no need for the addition because we did not add any addition at the front. Now we'll mark our shoulder the same to get a straight line. Shoulder divide by 2, and we divide the armhole into 2 and connect using our curve. This curve is usually okay and perfect for the back armhole line. Right, it's not that deep. Of course the back shouldn't be that deep, so we connect the dots together and line it up. I hope this is making sense to you. If you've watched to this end, to this far, you have to subscribe to this channel as soon as possible. Now mark the midpoint for the dart, ½ inch on both sides to make up for the 1 inch that we added, and we're going to be connecting it this way. So connect from the ½ inch to this point, half inch to the other point, that is 1 inch before the line, the armhole line. Okay, so this is what we have, and we connect it to the midpoint of the shoulder, the midpoint of the back shoulder. And our that draft for the basic pieces is settled. So we're just going to be cutting everything out. Like I said before, if you've not subscribed, please kindly subscribe. And this is exactly what it is for this class. So if you have any doubt, just go ahead and practice it and see how it's going to come out. Okay, actually the front shoulder line was a bit wider than the back shoulder line because of the 0.5 inch that we added back. You get it? But it's not that much, so it's equally supposed to be the same thing. Okay, so this is what we have, the 4 pieces that we have. Now what we're going to be doing is place it on a fabric. At the lower part we're adding 2.5 inch. After adding all our sewing allowance, added 2.5 inch, connect to the same allowance that we're going to be using, right? On each side at the hem, 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch at the lower part, add 0.5 for hemming allowance. On each side, this is the front part, we still added our zipper allowance and then added extra 2.5 inch, so that when the 1 inch for the zipper allowance is taken, we still have 2.5 inch. And at the back also we added our seam allowance and connected it to the 2.5 inch, and I'll be adding stay to the fabric. So this is what we have. We've padded and we've ironed our stay, looking so neat and beautiful. Okay, so this is what we have, and I'll go over to joining them while cutting the sleeve. Now the sleeve is a very small sleeve, a very small sleeve. The extra 1 inch is so I can gather it and it has a little puff. Okay, I believe we know how to cut a small cap sleeve. Yeah, a gathered cap sleeve, and that is what we have here. You can just follow the lines and you'll be able to get it. Small cap sleeve. We have previous videos on how to cut a small cap sleeve, and this is it. So go up by 1 inch and slant it so that it is not on the straight line. You can see the way I slanted my rule, and that is how we're going to be cutting it. Okay, so like I was saying, if you've not subscribed, please kindly do so, and you're going to enjoy coming back. Of course, this fabric is not a new fabric, it's just some leftover fabric, and this is what we have used it to accomplish. Okay, so at the sleeve I added some kind of twist to it just to make it look more beautiful, and this is where I added it. And of course both the sleeve and this strap is going to be gathered to give it a finer look and effect. So I'm going to be ironing the lining which I've joined, and also iron the main fabric which I've joined, and added my sleeve, my zipper to it. And I know we know how to add zippers. Okay, so now for the hem parts, I used crinoline, joined the fabric and the lining, and then place the crinoline at the top so that when you push the lining inside, the crinoline will be in between the fabric and the lining. So I'm going to sew and then top stitch on it after sewing. Okay, so after sewing and ironing, this is what we have. Everything looking so beautiful before ironing. So This is what I expected to have, and I've already fixed the sleeve, used the lining to tone the inside and all that. Okay, so what else is left is to fix the, of course I've not ironed this. By the time I iron it, it's going to come out more beautiful and pretty. This is the collar. This is just the only thing that is left, so I'm going to be using the collar to round the neckline and give it a more beautiful effect. Thank you for watching, and this is the outcome of what we have. So pretty. Okay, I expect you to practice yours and come back for more interesting videos. Bye.